Hi everybody, Matt here from Matt Likes Comics. As I have said on a couple of videos recently, if you are a member of my channel, you get the right to ask me to try and do videos based on subjects you want to see. So far I've done 4 of those videos. This one will be number 5 and the last one that I've received in a while. This one came to me from Robbie Joseph, and he wanted to see covers where superheroes fought each other. Now, I didn't go out and get a ton of them. I got a good chunk. I've got 14 books here that I think look pretty cool, and so I'm going to show those. And this will probably be a quick video, but I want everybody to understand that if you become a member of my channel, one of the perks, other than the extra videos you get to see, one of the perks is you can tell me what you want to see, and I will do what I can to make a video about it. Obviously, I can't show a Batman 1 or a Detective 27 kind of videos, but I can do a lot. I can do most of them. So we will go with this. This is all over the place in the sense of the characters. I tried to mix Marvel and DC as much as possible. So hopefully we've got some interesting books here. First one is The Mighty Thor, ergo Thor, number 413, where Thor is fighting Thor, as in the first Thor is fighting the second one. Or is he third? Is Beta Ray Bill considered the second? Who knows? And of course, Doctor Strange is watching. I just thought that was a cool looking cover, so I decided to use that. Next one is the Defenders. And it says right on the cover, old Defenders fight new Defenders. Tournament of Heroes. And as you can see, it's just complete chaos. I like it. Now, the Punisher is a very, very broad definition of heroes, but I wanted to include him because I really, really like this cover. This is Cage number 3. I liked this when I first bought it back in the 1980, or when was it? 1992. When I first bought it in the early 90s, I loved this book. I had the whole run of Cage back then. I liked this series. In particular, I like this story where he's fighting with the Punisher. You know, typical Marvel, they start fighting each other and then they realize they have the same goal, that kind of thing. It's a lot of fun. Next up, I'm going to save the next 2 for last because they're really cool. Next up, we have this Uncanny X-Men 121, which is the second part of the X-Men meeting Alpha Flight. I picked this one of the 2 because although the X-Men on the other cover are coming towards us if they're getting it, you don't see Alpha Flight. This one shows a better view of the fight between the 2 people, so I decided to go with this one. Next up is what I call an interesting one because this is Superman versus Krypto. This is Superman number 189. And this is, the number's hard to read. Black on this kind of very deep brown background is not the smartest choice. Superman 189, where Superman is supposedly back on Krypton and he's being confronted by Krypto, who of course are both heroes, and you know, just an interesting change on the dynamic. So I went with that. Similar dynamic here, where you've got, this is the first appearance of Infinity Inc. This is All-Star Squadron number 25. And Infinity Inc. has gone back in time and is confronting the old All-Star Squadron heroes. And of course, you know, Infinity Inc. are currently under the sway of the Ultra Humanite. So they're fighting based on, of course, like the usual stuff. It's a cool book. This Ultra Humanite storyline in All Star Squadron is really cool, and I kind of want to make a video on that because I love the Ultra Humanite, especially since this is when he's still in the Dolores Winters body, so it adds to the in between of stuff that we don't know. Anyways, that's All Star Squadron 26 or 25. Sorry, 25. By the way, that's Canadian price variant. Next up is a few from the Action Comics run just after Crisis, because there was this interesting period where they were trying to make Action Comics into a team up thing where, because they'd canceled DC Comics Presents to go with the end of Crisis and such forth. But, some of these early ones, he's fighting other heroes. For example, issue 584, the first issue after the change. Here he is fighting the new Teen Titans. In this issue, he doesn't realize who he's fighting because he's not himself. Which leads to this one here, which is Action 586, where Superman fights Orion. In this case, Orion has been taken over by Darkseid. Or sorry, Superman has been taken over by Darkseid. And Orion is trying to stop that. My apologies. I get these backwards once in a while. We get there in the end. That's all that matters. Then, of course, Superman fighting Superboy. This was just before. This was the beginning of. This is Action 591. This is the beginning of the storyline where they finally retire Superboy as a concept. This is the Earth Prime Superboy, which eventually ends up dead in Legion 38, but then is revived in a different way later, because the actual Earth Superboy Prime is in. This is the Time Trapper version of Superboy that they made to explain how Superboy was the founder of the Legion, like the inspiration back in the day. You actually, if you read this storyline, there's this one and two other books. If you actually read the storyline, there's a Superman 8 and Legion 37. If you read those three books together, you get the full story of what the Time Trapper did. He took a slice of universe, such and such, and moved it on. And just before Crisis destroyed everything. Time Trapper's pretty powerful, apparently. The next two come from a series where basically it feels like every issue is like this. It's not, but a good chunk of them are. Marvel 2-in-1. The Thing seems to fight everybody for one reason or another. Here is Marvel 2-in-1 28, where the Thing is getting into it with Submariner. Those two have a very grudging respect for each other, but it doesn't take much for them to fight, it seems. They never really get along, and there's always something in their mind. And I'm going to follow it with this one here, Marvel 2-in-1 56, which is the Thing and Thundra. And it says right on the cover, the Thing battles Thundra. And of course, as always, there's a big fight that goes on. Now, I'm going to show three more books, okay? And the reason I'm going to show them this way, there's one that's really cool, okay? And then there's two that you're going to find interesting. I'm sure you're going to find interesting because I had to dig to find these. I wanted these books. So I thought that they were really cool way to end this video. The next one is All-Star Comics 69, which shows a fight between the old Justice League and the new Justice League. Society. The new Justice Society versus the old Justice Society. Blah. League. I'm out of my society, I guess, today. These books are just out of my society. Anyway, it's a cool cover. The Justice Society, probably more than anybody else, fight internally all the time. The Justice Society series that started in 2007 has them fighting each other on several occasions. But I decided that this was the cooler book because it's also a key with being one of the first appearances of Huntress. So I decided to go with this one. I mean, I could do a full video on just the number of times the Justice Society fought themselves. I'm noticing there's a lot of videos I could make based on this video. Not going to do it all, but one or two might not be a bad idea. Again, if you become a member of the channel, you can say, hey, I want to see that, and tell me. Now, the last two are so cool because they're mirror images of each other. We've got Booster Gold number 7, which came out in August 1986, where Superman is beating the crap out of Booster. Followed by Action Comics 594 of November 87, where Booster is beating the crap out of Superman. These two are fun stories. They are fun books. And, I just love the symmetry. The symmetry is so awesome. So, Robbie and everybody else, but Robbie, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is the one you asked for. And I wanted to do it for you because, you're a member of the channel and an all great guy. If you like these covers, please let me know in the comments. Please like, comment, and subscribe below. If you want to do something like this, this is not a challenge video. But if you have a topic that you like and want to do, like a top bunch of covers, whatever, tag me in it. I would come and check it out. I love to see covers. Took me a long time to realize about these two covers. Well, I bought this one first. And when I saw this recently, I had to have it. And sure enough, I looked in and it was, it was intended to be mirror images. And they're just really, really cool. Thank you very much for joining me today. My name's Matt. I like comics, and I hope you do too. Bye, everybody.